Was the treasure of El Dorado discovered in episode 10 of season 3 of Outer Banks? Yes, it was. Right, and this episode is called Secret of the Gnomon, or whatever you pronounce it. Not really too sure, but it is the season 3 finale, which means it's another wee wait now to season 4. I believe season 4 has been confirmed because it ends with a season 4 basically in the mist that you would think. But we kick off the episode with the Pogues. They're on the way to Venezuela with Ward, and as they're getting off the plane, Ward's coming with them, but then Sarah's like, if you're going to do anything, Dad, you stay in the plane. And he actually listens, right? And the weird thing is, we don't get any Rafe this episode, which I thought was a bit of a letdown, personally. We then cut to JJ and Kiara. They're making their way down with the other guy, and then they manage to find a boat. Then when they get onto a bus, they're talking to this guy. The guy's like, oh, there's only one guy down here that can get you sorted out. But then they run into Cleo and Pope, who split up from John B and Sarah in order to find I can't remember what the guy's name is. The translator. Not the translator, the guy who knew the directions. I can't actually remember what his name is, but during all this commotion, Big John is basically he's been given hours left to live because Big Carlos said, if you don't discover this, big man, I will fucking kill you. But then Sarah and John B notice that Big John is in this room, so they start firing fireworks into it, and they manage to escape. Well, Carlos, like, he was debating here whether they killed John or not after John tried to escape through the window, but eventually they all escape and it's all good. We're safe. And then when they arrive to the fish market to get a passage. Turns out Ward's already there, and then this is when we get Ward and Big John face to face. Obviously, since the time that Ward thought he killed Big John, but Big John just fucking walks over and grabs Ward Cameron by the scruff of the neck. I thought this was actually a pretty funny scene. I thought he was going to kill him, but I guess it is out in the open. Like, I mean, if this was like a private residence, it was just those two, I think Ward Cameron would be dead. But Ward then comes out and says he's not going to go with them, tear them out, and he's going to stay here because of his injured leg. But we've seen him, like, text somebody on his phone about the location. But he says to the Easons that if he sees Carlos and his men on their tail or arriving, he will shoot up a flare to let them know. But eventually, John B, Big John, and Sarah, they do make it to the dig site. Also, you do have Cleo and Pope. They kiss. Oh, they're going to be a couple. Who cares, really? But those two, Kiara and JJ, are making the way. Those four had like a really bit part in this finale. They just did not feel big at any point. But when they get to the dig site, the moonlight shines on the Gnomon, and basically a message lights up, and it says, "Brave traveller, if you have wisdom, I'll reveal the wealth of the earth. I am nothing but hold everything, no tongue, but always speaking." Damn. It turns out that this is going to be a cave, essentially, that they have to get to, but while they're trying to sort this out, Carlos and his men show up with Ward, and Ward says, I had to give them your location, Sarah, or else they said they'd kill you. But Big John's like, no, I'm not telling you the Norman translation. So it looks like Carlos is about to drop John B here, but Ward panics, thinking that Sarah's going to get shot, so he shoots one of Carlos's men. Carlos shoots, it hits Big John, but he walks it off for the time being, but he is bleeding. We cut to Ward. He's begging Sarah to come with him, but she refuses. And we think, oh, is that Ward going to be done? Of course not. Ward's not done for this episode. But they manage to get to a cave, and another clue lights up. But when they go into the water, but you can see Big John struggling here. Honestly, man, he is struggling big time. So he says, you two go ahead. Your flashlights won't last forever, so make sure to use the flares. So at this point, this is when Sarah and John B go into the cave system. They do find the lost city of El Dorado after Sarah managed to solve the riddle, which, damn, they find a load of gold. And it's a bit weird, though. Like, they find this much gold, and I get it, right? It's just these two, but it's almost like the rest of this gold's just not going to be found whatsoever, which is pretty mad. Like, I mean, that's probably going to be the way it's going to go. But Carlos manages to find Big John in the cave. He's holding the two, Sarah and John B, at gunpoint. But then Big John steps out with a big stick of dynamite. He says he will blow the shit out of this cave if you don't let the kids go. If he hurts John B, damn it. Carlos doesn't buy it. He says you would hurt your son. You care more about the gold than your boy. But then John B is like, no, daddy. And then Big John's like, yeah, son. He throws the dynamite. And then Carlos is like, shit, he's fucking through it. So he tries to get the dynamite. But he blows up. And then the three, John B, Sarah, and Big John, fly out the cave. And Big John is clearly hurting here. He's done, man. He doesn't have long left, in my opinion, even at this point. So Carlos is dead. He's been blown to smithereens. They think they've got the gold. But then Ward appears out of nowhere with a gun. It's like, holy fuck, man, this is just non-stop action at this point. And you just thought, I thought at this point, like, what way are they going to play this? Surely someone has to die. Like, of course, Carlos just died, but I thought someone, you know, like the good guys or like, you know, like Ward, who's been there since like season 1, is going to have to die here. But then we see JJ and the gang, they show up with machetes and threaten Ward. And Ward eventually puts the gun down after getting talked out of by Sarah. But then one of Carlos's men, I believe his name's Ryan, turn up. He says, aye, you can't shoot Sarah, but I will. He goes to shoot Sarah. And then Ward, out of nowhere, jumps in front of Sarah. He gets shot in the chest about 3 or 4 times, but he spears him off a cliff. I thought this was a really good scene. And then as Sarah looks down, Ward's dead, and of course the other guy's dead. It was such a big fall. But again, like, this was a good scene. I really enjoyed it. But I feel like, would this not have been better if you just take away this Ryan guy and Big John steps up and spears Ward off the cliff, and it's like both their story arcs like end there. Like Big John gets revenge on Ward. I know they kind of wanted to go for the whole thing that Ward redeemed himself in the end. He saved his daughter, which I guess that's fair enough. But I just feel like it would have been better if Big John was the one to spear Ward off the cliff. But yeah, so Sarah doesn't even get time to mourn here because Big John passes out. He says like his last words to his son. He's like, "You were the best son I could have ever asked for." And then he dies. Big John is dead. He's died for his gunshot wound, sadly. And yeah, I mean, we got Carlos, Big John, and Ward all dying within like 5-10 minutes each are like, so pretty big. I'm surprised that Big John died personally after they brought him back. I thought maybe once he speared, well, like I'm saying, I wish he speared Ward off. To me, that would have been made this. That I think that would have been fucking perfect. Honestly, I thought you could have did it much better than that. But then we get a flash forward. 18 months later, we've got Kiara working saving schools. Kiara's working to save turtles, and Pope's gonna go to school. John B and Sarah own a surf shop, and JJ bought a boat. So it's 18 months later. They're all a bit more grown up now. I'd probably say like they must be near 20 now, surely, man. They basically get congratulated, and then you see Kiara's mum and dad like celebrating this. Like, hold on, these two dicks wanted to send her a fucking Hello Kitty or whatever it was called last episode. Ridiculous. But then an old man approaches the group, says, "You did really good with Dorado, but I might need your help with something. Blackbeard's treasure." So that looks like what we're going to do in season 4. We're going to go for Blackbeard's treasure. But I tell you what, of course, Ward died. So are we going to see Rafe want revenge in season 4? Probably. I can see that happening. Or is he going to steal Blackbeard's treasure off them? I'm not too sure. I feel like they've done Rafe's character a bit dirty in this final episode. I didn't even get to see him. But yeah, you know what? I thought it was a really decent, good finale, season finale. The only difference, I mean, I think one of the Pogues could have died. Like, personally, I feel like one of the Pogues could have died. But Big John and Ward, maybe Big John could have been the one to spear Ward off the building. Or the cliff, sorry. But you know what? I've no issue really with Ward redeeming himself kind of in the end. But anyway, guys, I want you to leave your thoughts down below. In terms of this review, I'm going to give it an 8. You know what? It was a good season finale. It felt like a season finale. It was easily the best episode of the season. Probably up there in terms of the show as well. But you know what, guys? Big John, Ward, Carlos, 3 guys are dead. I'll probably do a tier list in the coming days or whatever. Maybe a couple of fairy fids. But until then, Reese, 8 out of 10.